Well, tonight was the Republican debate in New Hampshire, and you know, here's my take on it. I think Jeb Bush had probably his best debate performance, but then again, when you're in Jeb Bush's spot, you have nowhere to go but up. Um, Chris Christie, I think, had some pretty good comebacks at Marco Rubio. I think the most I'd say just the most steady-handed, I think, was Ted Cruz. But I got to tell you, I got to give it to Chris Christie when he went after Rubio. Listen, I don't know how many people actually see these videos. What I've always said about Marco is the guy sounds like just a B-movie actor rushing to get regurgitate his lines before he forgets what he's supposed to say. He gives the same stump speech over and over, and tonight Chris Christie called him on it. Marco Rubio is an empty suit. Okay? I've done it. I've said it over and over in other videos. The guy is a phony. He rehearses his lines. Just after that last Fox debate, when it came out that Bill Salmon, the editor over at Fox News, and his daughter Brooke Salmon, who works for the Rubio campaign, there's little doubt in my mind that a copy of the questions got over to Marco Rubio so he could rehearse his answers and have them down. And that was actually one of his better debates. But here is the one question, yet again, every media outlet, including Fox, none of these people have a clue to ask one simple question. So I'll ask the question that's not being asked, and it's probably the most important question to ask. All these pro-amnesty candidates that claim to be conservative, every one of them up there says, I want to secure the border. Okay? Everyone says it. Then Chris Christie, Jeb Bush, Kasich, Fiorina, and especially Marco Rubio, every single one of them professes they're gonna secure the border, but they are gonna do amnesty. Okay, and they'll give you every excuse on how, we're not gonna do this, and we're gonna make sure this is in place and this is in place. We're gonna, Here's the question, folks. Listen to me. Ask yourself, how can any of these pro-amnesty candidates, how can they guarantee when they're no longer in office, how are they going to force future presidents to keep the border secure? The answer is they can't. Their only hope is that you're too stupid to remember what happened over the last 30 years. Ronald Reagan in 1986 signed amnesty because he thought he cut a deal with the Democrats, which is a foolish idea. But the Democrats promised border security and worker verification and all the things that they talk about now. Fact is, we got amnesty, we got no border security. Bill Clinton deported 12 million people, but because we had no fence, no border security, they all came back. George W. Bush deported 10 million people, but because we had no fence, no border security, they all came right back in. So that tells you all that we need. We need border security. We don't need to go through and redo all of our immigration laws. But see, Marco Rubio's not going to tell you this. He's got some rehearsed, regurgitated speech he's going to give you over and over and over. And the fact is, he's lying to the American people. Every one of those pro-amnesty candidates are lying to you. They say you can't deport 11 million illegals. It's been done multiple times. But we have no border security. So that's the grand lie, that they're going to secure the border, but they're going to do amnesty because they know they can't get future presidents to, keep the border secure if they choose not to. And of course, we've had Congresses that haven't kept the executive branch accountable. So there's no will for it. So don't do amnesty. If you're a conservative, fact is roughly 70 to 75% of the people who were legalized, the Hispanics, don't vote for the conservative ideology anyway. So if you're a conservative, like Rubio and all these others profess to be, then Why would you want to legalize a massive group of people who are going to vote against what you stand for? Either you're naive, you're an idiot, or you truly don't hold those conservative principles. Neither one of the three do I want sitting in the Oval Office. And frankly, I don't think Democrats would really mind anyone other than, say, Ted Cruz. You know, I don't trust Donald Trump. I know he runs his mouth a lot about how tough he's going to be and he's going to build this wall, but he's also said he's going to kick them all out, but let them come right back in. Fact is, we have people that have overstayed visas, and our government won't even deport those people, even though they have all the documentation of where they went to school, where they're working. They won't deport them. So that's our problem. When it's not that we don't have laws. We have all the laws on the books on how to come here legally, and if you come here illegally, what happens? We've got visas. If you come here on a visa and you overstay your visa, the law tells you what's supposed to happen. Government doesn't do it. So instead of upholding the law, which is the right thing to do, they just want to sweep it under the rug. But I got to tell you, watch out for Marco Rubio. Watch out for Jeb Bush. They are all pro-amnesty candidates. So, again, the simple question to ask these people is, you know, Senator Rubio, Governor Kasich, Governor Bush, Governor Christie, Miss Fiorina, if you become president and you secure the border, and then you put in place a pathway to citizenship, amnesty, how are you going to guarantee us that future presidents are going to keep the border secure and we're not going to end up with the lawlessness that we've had the last 30 years? I'll answer it because they won't. You cannot do it. It will not exist. And here's the other thing. They legalize these 11 or 12 or however many millions of illegals there are. There's what's called chain migration. Once they get citizenship, now they can sponsor additional family members. So 12 million could be 30 million. We don't know. So the only candidate that you should consider is someone who understands this and has a no amnesty at all in their platform. You can't roll the dice on this one, folks. We'll lose this country. Because I've heard a very wise person say, if you keep allowing there to come here, here will look just like there. And frankly, I don't want the United States of America to look like there. So consider this when you're listening to these candidates. When you go into that voting booth, keep this in mind. All right? Thanks for watching. Appreciate your feedback.